Bob McElligott joined now by Jody Shelley. The offense really continues to be a problem for this team in the preseason. Again, I don't want to put too much on it, but when you're playing with a lot of your lineup in there tonight, it makes it a little disappointing they could only generate one.
Yeah, I think frustrating is a word, too. I mean, they're excited to get in there. It's been a long camp. You get in there with some veteran players. It looks or resembles a lineup that could be in next Thursday night against the Boston Bruins. And they had some good puck movement at points, but frustrating on the breakouts. Couldn't get some entries. So little details to clean up. They've got one more preseason game, then they've got next week to get ready for game one, and I expect things to be clicking a little better.
Yeah, I talked with the players about the entries and how tough that was, and Nick Foligno said that's what teams are going to do. They know that we're a grinded out team, so they're going to try to meet us at the blue line and make it tough. But you mentioned the breakouts. They did have problems getting out of their own end tonight.
Yeah, and you know what, Bob? I love that we're having this discussion this year and not sitting here thinking we've got everything figured out in the preseason, and then game one you realize, wait a second, we aren't as good as we think we are. So right now it's a good time to have these kind of hiccups and have to battle through it and feel disappointed and frustrated, because that's what the preseason should be for. Iron it out, move on, get ready for Pittsburgh, do some good things, feel good about yourself, and get ready for Thursday night.
All right, I've just been told there will be no John Tortorella with the media tonight. So as we wrap this up, I want to ask you, the guys that didn't play tonight, what's their mindset that they weren't in this game tonight, and what do they have to hope happens by Saturday to give them a chance to get in the lineup one more time?
Well, I've been there. Selfishly, you want the player that's playing for you to have a terrible night. That's just the reality of it. You want to be in the lineup. The guys who didn't play tonight didn't practice with this group that played. They practiced on the other rink. It's a lonely feeling. You have 1,000 negative thoughts in your head. You think, well, maybe so-and-so is going to take my spot. Maybe I didn't do that. Maybe I should have done this better. I need another opportunity to get in there and play. It's one of those things where you watch this game half-heartedly, but you're excited for practice tomorrow. So the mindset is, okay, the game's done. The team didn't play well. I feel better about myself. Can't wait to practice tomorrow, and hopefully I'll play in Pittsburgh. And really, hopefully I'm here Thursday.
Somebody told me earlier today that they feel as though the lineup that is made for that night reflects how John Tortorella feels on that day. Meaning, if he didn't like the way you played last time, you're just not in the lineup today. And knowing that, it's got to be tough, especially like you just said, when you can't control it today. You have to hope to have a chance to control it on Saturday.
Yeah, and it's probably true. It's part of this whole reality and this process, and he has certain ways of sending messages, and I don't think Torts gives out many hugs. So it's either you're doing your job and just keep doing it, and when you're not doing it right, well, you might be out of the lineup. The other side of that, and which the players that aren't playing probably don't think about, is that management wants to see young players in the lineup. They want to see them in positions to succeed, because after camp, you have to make these tough decisions. So, in other words, we know you're going to be on the team. We know where you're going to play, so you're not in the lineup so we can see a young guy. So, yeah, overthinking is done to the max anytime you're not in the lineup, especially the last couple games of camp.
Understatement of the preseason. Torts doesn't give out many hugs.
No.
Understatement of the preseason. One game left in Pittsburgh Saturday afternoon. Not only are they going to go in there with a veteran lineup, but they're going to be facing the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I would expect that they're going to be facing most of the players that hoisted the Stanley Cup last spring, because for Pittsburgh it's a final tune-up too. So that I don't know if it's a figure out what you're made of kind of a game, but if you didn't like the way that you played tonight and you're in the lineup on Saturday, you have a chance to really crank it up, and you better crank it up on the road in Pittsburgh.
I think for some individuals, I see that. I don't see Bobrovsky playing that game. No. He's our veteran goaltender. It's still a preseason game. So the number one goal for me is stay healthy. I think that, okay, the rookies or the individuals that are trying to make this team that don't have that NHL long-term contract, or you need to do whatever you can to really put a stamp on asserting yourself. I totally agree with that. The veterans need to feel good about themselves. Get the power play clicking once or twice. Get your chemistry with your line mates. Get some positive things going on in that game. And don't go ahead. I mean, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Sure, it's going to be a big rival game when they get here in the regular season, but it's still not the regular season. And once that page turns, once that horn sounds, and once they get back here and practice after that game, you're going to feel different about this team. Everyone's going to feel excited because now you've turned the page on the preseason and camp is over.